Hi guys, so today I have this really sweet and different set from Die Press that they brought to HSN. It's called the Bookworm Die and Stamp Kit, and they did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links on the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. So thank you for using those if and when you can. And again, I get asked this, they're just under the title. A lot of times you can click show more, and I think now they've updated something odd where you have to click show more like twice. But anytime anybody includes social media info or recipe links or like links to their blog or all these kind of things, they're always in that same description box. So you guys, this is so cute. So it's called Bookworm, and look at the little corner, just like so fancy little cup. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Little shelving, and then like the book spines. I mean, you guys, let's open this up and check it out. I already have an idea of what I want to do with this. I was like, well, if we have Bookworm, maybe we'll make like a little book-looking box, which will basically just be like a little box, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. So hopefully we can do that today. So we have the stamps. Let's look at the inspo sheet first, and then we'll go from there. So we have like a little stack of books, a couple that are kind of leaning against each other. We have stamps, and then the spines, so you can dress up your books if you would like. Oh, look at this one. It has like a little bookmark on the end. The little vase with a little like flower sprig coming out of there. Some books that are meant to be like laying down. An open book, a stack of books, an open book here. And then like some dies for the little, that is so cute, for the little tea or coffee, however. Look, this little tea bag and a heart. Those are stamps, and then these are dies up here. So again, add books to shelf die cut. How cute is that? Oh my goodness. And then all these different words, you know, sayings can be stamped on book spines, mix and match sayings to be whatever you need, it says. So there's some examples there. And I mean, how cute is this one? Like a slimline with all the books. Oh my gosh. That is the cutest. And then we have, so our images here. And in case I don't use all of them, I think, you know, that one's like a 2-inch tall stamp, about 2 inches wide, just a little bit over, so you have some idea of that. Look at those little guys. Like the word birthday is about 2 inches also. The spines, look at the little glasses. Those are so cute. All kinds of sentiments, and I'll read some of those in just a minute. I just realized I didn't read any of them really. This larger stamp is about 2 inches wide also. At the tallest is like 2 1/4. Little stack of books there, and all those different spines. And then again, all the dies that cut out those different pieces. The little vases are just adorable. Oh my gosh, so much to do with this one. And as far as sentiments, we have, you know, hope it's one for the books. I enjoy every chapter of our friendship. And then again, mixing and matching. You are literally the best, with quotes on literally. Congrats, well done. Enjoy your new chapter. Hope it's one for the books. So just mixing and matching there. It's your day. Treat your shelf. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is grab some papers and some inks and things. I think what we're going to do is a lot of spines, book spines, and then we'll go from creating what I was thinking about, making like a little book, like gift box or something. I was even thinking the boutique stamp set would be really cute with that, because you can make like a little scene, and like it is a book, you know, a book about whatever scene, and then, you know, you have your different sentiments. But anyway, I will be right back. I have a few different papers. I have some off-white kind of cream colored paper here to mimic like book pages. I have this darker brown paper just to look kind of like leather bound, or like, you know, just an old book. I have this paper here that has like scripts. I thought that'd be really fun maybe for the cover, and then we'll decorate with some of our books here. So let's start with this guy. And what I'm going to do is just cut this down. So generally, if you're doing an A2 size card, you have your A2 size paper, you just cut it in half, right, at 5.5 inches. But we do need like a spine. So I'm going to cut it on this side 5.5 inches tall. We need 4 1/4 for the front of, I'm just making it standard, you know, card size. Maybe an inch spine, and then another 4 1/4. So we still need 8.5 plus 1, so 9.5. So when I come back, I'll have this cut at 5.5 tall and a 9.5 inches in the width there. I'll be right back. Okay guys, and there I have my first piece cut. This is the outside of our book. Again, 9.5 by 5.5. Right, so we have our spine added in there. And we're gonna have a 1-inch spine. I went ahead and cut strips to make the actual book box, so it looks like a book, you know. And what I want to do is recess it about 1/8 of an inch. So if we have a 1-inch spine and we want to recess it 1/8 of an inch, I am going to glue this frame that we're going to make on the inside to the spine. So I only need it to be 1/8 of an inch smaller in this direction, but we need it to be a 1/4 inch smaller top and bottom, so we have 1/8 at the top and 1/8 at the bottom. So don't worry about the math on that. I've already done it. And then so I'm giving myself a 1/2 inch glue tabs to glue it into the base, but I also have a 1/2 inch glue tab at the end of one of the long strips here. So we need 2 of these guys. And these are kind of a funky number because of what I just told you we need to do. So this is 9 7/8, so not quite 10 inches. It's 9 7/8 by 1.5, and I did it a little bit smaller than 1.5. I want a 1/2 inch glue tab, but I also don't want this to sit on top of that 1 inch and then just be kind of wanting to pop open instead of just sit nicely. So it is like, I mean, a skosh smaller than 1.5. It's maybe a 1/16 smaller than that. So just go to 1.5 and then take it back a little bit so it's a little bit smaller. So we have both of those strips. And then on the inside, we're also going to line that just to cover up our you know, all of the glue tabs. So if you think about it, the inside of this little case, the way I'm making it, is basically 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to do is bring this just a little bit smaller than 5 1/4 in case our numbers are a little bit funky. So the smallest, just a little smaller than 5 1/4. And on the 4 1/8 side, I'm going to go just a little bit smaller than 4 1/8 also. And if we need to trim that down, we will do that later. But we also need this portion. And then basically I'm going to use this on the top of my card too, but I think I just cut this, yeah, well, you know, we can still use it. I was going to say, I like mine being a little bit taller, my matte layers, so I'm still going to matte layer this a little taller at 5 3/8 for the very front of the book card, basically, by 4 1/8 or so. So that'll be on the outside. Okay, hey guys, so we have our pieces. And again, our outer, you know, the actual casing here is 9 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then on this side, what we're going to do is score at 4 1/4. And then 5 1/4. So that's a 1-inch spine. That should leave 5 1/4 left there. You can go ahead and score. If you want to corner around, you can definitely corner around, whatever's you like. Both of these strips here, we are going to take them on the long side. I'll put this over here. We are going to score 1/2 inch. Doesn't matter which side, just score 1/2 inch on one of the sides here. That's going to leave this a little bit smaller than 1 inch, remember. So again, that strip was 1.5 inches, just a little smaller than 1.5 inches by 9 7/8. And on this side, we're going to score 1/2 inch for a glue tab. And then from there, we're doing the 4 1/8, remember? So 1/2 inch plus the 4 1/8 is 4 5/8. So just past 4 1/2, that next eighth, 4 5/8. And then from this, we're going to go ahead and score. Excuse me, my goodness, something's in my throat. So from here, we're going to go ahead and score. I do like to divot these guys out since we are going to cover that portion once it gets in here. You know, it's not a big deal, but if you want to divot it out and so that they match up perfectly, you can just go from that score line we just made out a little bit. And then when you do score this one, and we want to get rid of a little bit of this one on this corner here, I also, again, like to score just a little bit, so divot down into there, and then divot that away. Excuse me, they'll just fit in a little nicer because they've been scored away. But if you want it to be a perfect 90-degree angle, just do that and then give yourself more of a cut, right? So there we go. I'm going to do the same thing with this other one, and I usually also not score, but just cut a little bit away from the top here. I'll do the same thing with this strip. So once again, our cover is 9 1/2 inches by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4 and 5 1/4. Then we need 2 strips that are 9 7/8 inches long by just a little smaller than 1 1/2 inches wide, scored at 1/2 inch. And then on the other side, you do a 1/2 inch and 4 5/8. Okay, so these guys are basically going to stick them together like a frame. You can either put it down, then do that, or glue them together to begin with. Oh, I just noticed I didn't divot out this other end. And again, I guess you can match them up together if you wanted to divot them out the same, but like I said, we made a little cover piece for the inside, so that's not the biggest deal. But we are going to glue these guys together. So essentially these are the same, but you know, if they were like this. But you're just going to turn it so that the glue tabs meet. And I am putting my glue tabs on the inside, because that looks the cleanest from the outside. And again, just whenever you do something like this, match up those lines. I try to, especially right now, match up at the top, since we did cut them separately and we were kind of eyeballing that smaller than 1.5 inches. Just so it looks a little nicer. And these guys are all going to glue in, and then this guy in here. So let's go ahead and get that guy down. And making sure we're pretty much level at the top. And then we can do whatever we need to with the rest of it. I am going to draw in some lines so it looks like pages, but you could do that when it was flat, however you like. I'll probably just do it afterwards. And again, and then so we have this little frame that we're just going to glue right in here. And I am going to glue this up against here just to make it more book-like. But if you wanted to just glue this down and let that, you know, free float, go ahead. It's your project. Do what you like. And then this part, again, doesn't really quite matter. We're going to cover it up anyway, so I'll just make them about the same, though. So glue here, glue all down here. And I'm just going to butt it right up to as close to the score line without going onto the score line, and then just minding if I'm centered up and down here. It's hard for me to see from this angle, sorry guys. Let's see, this side of the score line. I can probably bring it up just a little bit. And once I'm happy with kind of the placement there, I will finally push it down. Sorry. Just kind of at an odd angle here. There we go, there we go. That looks good. Push that in. Good, good, good. Okay. And then I'm going to also, like I said, glue this up here. So that will be our little book. If you want to corner around, you can definitely do that. Let me let that set up for a minute. I'll be pushing that down, making sure everything was connected. And now we have this piece that we had cut earlier, which again, we cut it just a little smaller than 4 1/8, right? By 5, and just a little bit smaller than 5 1/4. And that fit perfectly, so we'll just pop that in. And of course, you know, this can hold lots of different things. If you want it to hold something specific, just make sure you're doing the height for that, right? Let's say you want to put some like Lindt chocolates, which are like 1 1/4 inches, there's 1 inch high. Goodness, excuse me. So just add another 1/4 inch to your spine and also to the height of these guys, right? But look how cute. Oh my gosh. And again, you can leave that free floating. I want to bring it up. So I'm going to glue this here, make it nice and sturdy. And just push it back as far as, I'm kind of pushing that way just to make sure the glue's in there nice. And then it closes nice. So I'm going to hold that and I'll be back. So I think we're good. And then of course you kind of push these in. If you want to add something to hold this down, like some ribbon or something like that, you can definitely put that in. We could have put it underneath here so it came out of the here. You know, when you're doing your frame, go ahead and put the ribbon, and then this also helps hold the ribbon down, or just not do anything at all. And then the other one you can trap under here, or put a matte layer on the back and trap it under there. However it is you want, make a belly band, you know, whatever it is you want to do. I need to cut this just a little bit smaller. I can see that I'm a little bit off over here. So again, 5 3/8, and I eyeball it, you know, on my guillotine. So I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller. And then I'm also going to take my scissor and just make this look a little rough. So, of course, I'm going to trim off a little bit there and just get this guy a little bit distressed. I think that'd be fun, okay? And then I'm going to take one of my pens, maybe a 1, and just kind of go down here and just make what looks like little lines, you know, pages. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of giving it a little something. Okay? I think that's fun. Something like that. And I'll do the same thing at the bottom here. Stir up a little bit around the edges, and you can definitely like do a little tear Actually, let's go ahead and just tear it like this, just to make it a little more fun. And you kind of curl that back if you want, a little bit up like this. And of course you can dirty that up with some ink or something. And you can do a couple of those, that'd be fun. And after this, we're gonna make our little books or whatever it is that we decide to use. Cute. And I think that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up, and I'm gonna grab some other papers and things, and we'll try out some of our stamps and dies or whatever it is that we want to do. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I measured this spine area just to put a little something on there, a little decoration. So what I have here is a piece of paper that's just thinner than an inch and then just about 5 3/8 tall. I'm gonna mount it here so that we can do a little stamping, a little decorating with those same stamps that we would use for like the spines or different things. And I think I can match a few of them up. I can repeat the same one. What I think I'm going to do is this one right in the center, or center-ish, and then come in with the other two. So I'm just eyeballing this, guys. So let's just put that there, and I'll use some brown ink. Ooh, gold ink. I mean, just depending on how much time you would like to take with this, I would maybe heat set some gold ink. You know, all those different little extra bits that you can do. But let's do this guy, and I'm gonna let it look. This paper is a little bit like linen texture, so it's a little bit distressed looking. If it comes out that way, that's fine. So I'll put that there, and then I have these little guys. And then I had the idea when I was looking at the dies, I'm like, oh, we can put this in the corners. Like if you cut that out of some pretty paper and put them in the corners, how lovely would that be? So we'll probably do that too. I'm just thinking of like all these different things we can continue adding. So again, as straight as I can, I'm gonna stamp that guy there, and then I'll line it up down here and I'll stamp it down here too. So right now that I have these little spines out I've been using, what I'm gonna do is just take different scraps of paper. So I'm gonna glue this on here, and again we can also rough this up just to give a textured look like this, so I will do that with that too with my scissors, just again distressing those edges. I'm just gonna grab different scraps of paper that I think coordinate with what I have going on here, so maybe some lighter brown, maybe some like a tan color, you know, just scraps of paper that I have here. So I'll just do that, and I'll just stamp things. So like I don't know how big this one's gonna be, but let's just randomly stamp with different colors of paper, different spines, and then we'll cut them out with the dies. So like I didn't even take time to stick that one down. So I'll have that, and I can cut that out with the die in a minute, and I'm just going to do that randomly with some of the spine looking stamps. So I'll be right back. So I'm just going to do some random, you know, cuttings. Like this one I can see through it, so if I want to use it for like this guy, I can have a pretty good idea of where I would cut. So I'll just tape that down. Some of them are more of a solid die, so we definitely want to make ourselves an aperture or something like that, or you cut them first and then stamp, you know, that's whatever you like to do. So since I have, let's see, maybe this guy, let me see if I can get, that one's pretty tall, piece of paper. I was say, let me see if I can get this whole image on this one. Ooh, I can, okay. So let me trim this down. What I'm going to do is run this through a scrap of paper, and I'll show you how to just do an aperture so you have an idea of where you're cutting. And it's just something like that, and we're just going to make like a little hinge with a piece of tape, washi tape, whatever it is. I'm going to run that through real quick, and I'll be right back. These where I need a good idea of where I'm cutting, I'll make a little aperture like this, and you know, now we have this, I can stamp on it. You know, we have another little book, but I'll just pick this up like this and really have a good idea of where I'm cutting that. That looks great. And then I always put another piece of tape, even though we can hold it as it goes through the marquee, but I just grab another piece and then carefully bring that over and run it through again, and hopefully I didn't move that. And now I have my little stamped book. So I'll cut all books out. I think I did 3 or 4 of them. That's just different sizes, and I'll be back. A few things going here. We have our books. We have some different pieces here. I have some extra pieces from earlier. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I did cut the little gold swirls, and I thought it'd be really cute just for some accent pieces, so I'll probably pop those here and here. And so let's go ahead and get those glued down, and then the spine portion. So I'm just going to put some glue and then glue on those little gold filigrees here and just stick them down in top and bottom corners, okay? I'll be right back. I just put a little glue on the back of my hand and pat, pat, pat to put those down. I mean, how cute is this turning out? And then I had an idea while I was cutting the books. I was like, you know what? Some of these books look like latch shapes, or like we could use it to hold our book down and have like a buckle. So I cut 2 extra pieces. I'm just going to layer these together. They're just from scraps, and I suppose I could layer them so that they both look nice on both sides. So I'll layer rough cut sides together since it's symmetrical. And I'm going to use this as a little latch. So I'm going to hold that until it sets up, and I'll be right back. The other portion, I'm going to use this on the front so that this tucks into this to close it. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to go wash my hand and I'll be right back. Several books. I'll probably just use these 3. I like the way they look here, and then if we're going to put the latch somewhere here, I'm just kind of putting them around here, and I'm just going to glue them down flat. Of course, you know, you can layer them up with some dimensionals. That would be really cute. And I'm just going to put this like here, and then I'll glue that one, and then I'll glue this one down. And then on the very top, I'm going to put a pristine little white mug. I thought that would be really cute, right? Just to make that pop. So I'll glue those down, and I'll be right back. Our little project is looking like. You could have stamped sentiments in here, you know, happy birthday, all the different things that are there. I might stamp something and have it on the inside just so that when the person gets the treat, how cute, a gift card like Barnes & Noble or Amazon or something like that. I'm going to put this little latch here. Now this thing is about 1.5 inches, but I think I'm just going to eyeball what I'm doing here with it. So I'm just going to kind of bend it a little bit there. And I'm going to glue this portion in the back. Thinking about if it goes into here. We'll stick that down in just a minute. And just about here, I guess, would be good, right? So I'm going to hold that down, and when it's set up, then we'll finish up our little latch. On pretty good. So I'm just going to close this and just make sure it's where it should be, and just kind of latch that in like that. Okay. Just kind of getting it ready. It doesn't really mean that that's exactly where it bends, but I just want to kind of give it a bend, and then make it pretty easy to go in and out of here. We're just going to glue it right about there. So I'm just going to eyeball that also, about how much. So a little glue at the top here, and then I'll leave it with a little space. And then once that's set up, I'll put a little glue down here and just leave a nice clearance, right? We don't want to end up gluing this down. So I'll put some more glue just like down here, and that'll be our little latch. While that is setting up, I'm going to just do a little sentiment I'll put on the inside. So I'm just going to stamp it on another piece of paper, and I'll probably use that literally. I really want to use that. So let's see here. It's in different pieces. So I want you are, and literally, and then the best. So I will stamp those things, set them up how I'd like, get them stamped, and I will be right back. I just stamped that with a couple different colors, and I just cut it down to like this little tag shape, which honestly actually looks really cute right here, even if we had, oh man, you know what, I was gonna not put it there, but you know what, we will, and I'll put it on dimensional adhesive. So I'm gonna put some dimensional adhesive on the back of this and stick that down, and then I have these extra books, so I think on the inside I'll just stick them down here. How cute is that? Okay, so I'll glue those in, and then yeah, why not? Right? A little something fun. I'll be right back. Look at, I mean, what a thunk it, right? This is such a cute set for a card, but I mean, we made this whole, you know, 3D, just cute project. I love making boxes. Hopefully you guys were able to follow along. A lot of times I'll walk through numbers when I make videos like this, but for this one I just kind of got to the numbers, so hopefully that made sense for y'all. I'm gonna stick that there. I'm gonna open this up so I can push down. And that is our project for today. 1 inch thick, basically card size, you know, A2 size card. And I put the little guys in there. Thank you so much, Diamond Press, for sending these items for you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll have the images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Oh my goodness, I am in love. So cute. Bye now.